So, two things make a solid grip: leverage and friction. So if you look at your hand sideways, what's the highest point of leverage that I have on my hand? Which finger? Thumb, if you count it as a finger, depending who you ask. What's the lowest? Pinky, right? So instead of focusing a lot on just the pressure I'm inducing on the fucking gun, why not get the leverage of getting the thumb high on the back strap, or the tang of the gun, as some people might call it, and then establish low leverage with the pinky. So if I working on just brute force, so his hand is my Glock. If I grab the Glock and I'm squeezing really tight, go ahead, bring my arm to the sky, and now bring it to the ground. I can't control it. But if I come up high on the back strap of the gun, or the tang, and I establish low leverage first with that pinky, high leverage up here. Do you feel a shift? Mm-hmm. All right, now take me to the sky. Take me to the ground. See how it shifted that? Oh, yeah. So that's not just pressure, that's now inducing leverage. And that was, would you say that was less pressure? Yeah. I just directed it to where it needed to go. Yep. The pinky and then high on the thumb. So that's the dominant side. Now, the non-dominant hand is where the friction comes into play. We call it a crush grip pressure. The point of this is to cover as much surface area of the gun as possible. The more surface area you contact, the more control you have of the gun. So when I come up into the gun, over here, I've already established the high on the back strap, low leverage on the pinky. You can see a capillary change in the pinky because I'm directing that pressure towards the pinky to establish that leverage. So if I start with the fingertips before throwing that thumb high and forward and clamping down on the non-dominant side, I pin with the finger, throw thumb high and forward on that, on the gun right there. You guys see that? And I'm crushing down on that hand. That helps keep it super fucking stable and locked in there. If you start with the fingertips and create that fulcrum point right here, and all my fingers contact 2, 3, 4, ending with the pinky, the low leverage, and then I throw the palm and thumb forward, now it's harder to break free because I've already established that leverage in my fingertips on the non-dominant side.
My name's Kyle with the United States Secret Service, and we just finished up baseline pistol with Achilles Heel Tactical. Really important to push yourself as far as firearms, because I can screw up paperwork, I can screw up a traffic stop or something, but if I send a round downrange that's not proper, it can have pretty bad repercussions. So I've never heard of Project Blue Line before I took the class today. Once I learned a little bit more about it, it's essentially free training. There's people out there who are willing to provide law enforcement with free training, and all they have to do is sign up. And I keep hearing people say it's like the biggest barrier to entry is just how much it costs to get training. So it kind of removes that barrier. So there's really no excuse to not, whether it's through Achilles Heel or somebody else, to try to get that training, because it's quintessential. Like, if you are not where you need to be with firearms, like that's just something you can't take back. So whether you're a city cop or you're out in the country, like, you're going to have, whoever your threat might be, but you're also probably going to have, civilians, innocent people. For us, we have protectees walking around. You have to be super conscious of that anytime you do pretty much anything. So I'd say it's just really, accountability again is like the biggest thing. You have to be cognizant of exactly what you're doing and exactly where your rounds are going. So.
My name is Larry. I'm a federal law enforcement officer, firearms instructor in Virginia, and we just wrapped up Achilles Heel Tactical baseline carbine course. I became aware of Project Blue Line through the website, Achilles Heel Tactical. I went on the website to see what the application process consisted of. It was pretty straightforward. I submitted my application online. The biggest part was a justification on why you wanted to attend, which is the primary reason being an instructor, I want to relay relevant information to my students and also to myself to be a better instructor so I can better relay that to them. The biggest takeaway is shooting at speed, as fast as you can, in a controlled sights target, this case being the A zone. Me personally, we don't do that. We talk about shooting fast in theory, but we don't test it. I think testing is very important, myself included. I had a lot of failure points in those tests, but I'll never know that if I don't run drills like that. So I'm a big advocate of doing things like that in assessing. The second thing I took away was the use of the shot timer. The command drills, I think. First part time setting up your presentation, second part time pressing the trigger. I thought that was very useful. I'm definitely going to do that. The accountability on the range spills over into real life if there's a shooting, obviously. That goes without saying. But I think accountability on the range and being a disciplined shooter spills over into other aspects in your life as well besides shooting. If you're a disciplined shooter, there's a lot of mental discipline that goes into being a proficient shooter. If you can apply the discipline into being a shooter, you can apply the discipline in other aspects of your job. I just believe that the discipline aspect to be accountable spills over into a lot of things, and it's just vitally important to possess, for a man or woman to possess those qualities.